engines, meaning that in an aerial strike, Ghidorah will probably be capable of bringing down the mech. Which brings us to the next weapon, the legs. These might not necessarily be stronger than the mech, but can most definitely grip better. This combination of gripping with legs, tail, heads, along with the flapping of wings, gives Ghidorah the ability to carry up to 70% of additional weight. So who is the strongest? Since these two titans are not anatomically built the same, it is unfair to compare these limb for limb. Ghidorah tends to use his two outer heads as arms, which could be no match for the mech's giant forearms. The mech's legs are weaponized, but Ghidorah's are used for gripping. But Ghidorah can offset this imbalance of strength with his wings. Therefore, the allocation of strength between both kaiju comes out at an equilibrium, making this a draw in overall strength. Agility. This attribute will allow you to avoid getting killed prematurely. In Godzilla vs. Kong, we witnessed Mechagodzilla avoid many frontal attacks by the G-Man. How? Well, it's because of these bad boys. Yep, these jet propulsors came in handy once again, allowing the mech to make airborne 180-degree turns in a second, allowing this titan to always face the opponent. Knowing this, it would be impossible for most titans to be able to attack it from the sides. Additionally, we see that for a massive machine, Mechagodzilla moves quite fast. Not in a clunky fashion as the earlier Jaegers from Pacific Rim. Its massive opponent Ghidorah can move quickly also, but once it gains momentum, this is the issue with overly large titans. It takes time for them to move. While you could argue that its heads are very agile, Ghidorah's entire corporal entity is compromised due to its large amplified mass. And by that, we mean the wings. In order for Ghidorah to fight effectively, he will need enough flat room to move around. This explains the reason why Ghidorah would attempt to flatten any surrounding obstructions before combat. Take a look at the aftermath of Boston. Everything seemed to be flattened. And in the Battle of Hong Kong, a lot of structures were still upright, suggesting that Ghidorah does indeed require a lot of clear space to fight at his full potential. But compared against Mechagodzilla, Ghidorah's maneuverability pales in comparison, giving this edge to the mech. But will he hold on to all mobility attributes when it comes to locomotion? Speed. As mentioned earlier, Mechagodzilla is not a pushover when it comes to mobility. This titan can apparently move faster than Godzilla over short distances, thanks again to the jet propulsors. And since the mech was possibly lighter than the G-Man, this speed would at first seem faster than Ghidorah, at least on land. Ghidorah would also run fast since it would be running on technically 4 limbs. Its snake-like movements would allow it to cut through the air easier than it would while moving upright, but might still not be enough. Ghidorah, however, could also deploy its flight capability to move even while close to the ground. This allowed him to move at speeds fast enough to knock Godzilla over. At full speed, however, this titan can move at approximately 632 miles per hour. This speed would give Ghidorah 1, enough speed to retreat, and 2, enough momentum to severely injure an unwary Mechagodzilla. Knowing this, Ghidorah takes the edge when it comes to overall speed in this battle. Terrain compatibility. Before moving on to how exactly these titans could shred each other up, let's talk about terrain. This is important because in order for us to conclude a fair verdict, we need to determine where this battle is most likely to take place. Mechagodzilla could basically fight in any terrestrial location, whether it was urban or desolate. Additionally, some concept art of Mechagodzilla shows that this titan was equipped with hidden water jet propulsors which allowed it to move and even fight underwater. Unfortunately for Ghidorah, this is exactly the location where he did not fare too well against the G-Man in 2019, and possibly past battles. If for whatever reason Ghidorah is stuck in the water with the mech, his only priority will be to escape so no real combat will ever happen there. Monster Zero is, however, an excellent combatant everywhere else. Urban landscapes, desolate glaciers, most importantly while airborne. While it is unlikely that Mecha-G will take the fight to the water, it is more likely for Ghidorah to take the fight to the heights. This is because Ghidorah has shown his ability to bring titans with him even into the air at great altitudes. For this reason, terrain compatibility